Michael hit me up and said, what three teams have the best chance of getting three or more wins than last season? And I just now realized in our show prep why when I added a fourth team to my list, Jesse looked at me sideways. It's because Michael asked for three. Well, Michael, I'm going to give you four. I'll skip really quickly through the fourth one. Miami is one of them, Michael. Miami went 5-7 last year. Quite simply, you're asking me, can Miami win 8 games this year? And quite simply, I'm telling you, yeah, I think they'll win 8 games this year. Improvement's going to happen. I don't think they're going to get worse. It's just a question of how much improvement. They got 2 new coordinators down there. It's the old year 1 to year 2 effect. I have not sold, I have not punted on the idea that Mario Cristobal could be a success at Miami because of the first year. Some of you have, and that is your prerogative. You've got just as much a constitutional right to have a college football opinion as me. But I disagree with you if you say that last year's disaster is indicative of the fact that they're never going to get it together. I wholeheartedly agree that it was a disaster. You're not getting steamrolled by Duke and Middle Tennessee and me not telling you it was a disaster. But they've still got Tyler Van Dyke down there. See, that's another name that I have heard a lot of folks willing to throw dirt on top of that I'm not. I don't think anybody offensively down there was put in a particularly advantageous position last year, the quarterback included. Just, can they win 8 games? We're not asking them to reinvent the wheel here. Can they win 8 games? That would be one. Miami would be one. Oklahoma, kind of similar to Miami last year. New head coach. Last year, they went 6-7. They made a bowl game, then lost the bowl game. Same as Miami. Improvement will happen. How much improvement will we see? They, over the past 2 cycles, have had top 8 portal classes and recruiting classes combined, both cycles. They lost a lot of talent when Lincoln Riley left. They have replenished with a lot of talent. They are bringing in as high a caliber of player on average as they have at any point over the last several years. And that includes the Lincoln Riley years, and that includes the Bob Stoops years. That is not the end. That's just the beginning. The end is what do you do with all of it? I use the kitchen ingredients metaphor like once per show, and so I'm putting it on probation right now, but if I were to talk about it, this is where I would use it. They got Dylan Gabriel, but I'll tell you what they have now this year, which gives me reason to believe they can win 8 or 9 games that they didn't have last year, and that is depth. Not just General Booty depth. They've got General Booty Jackson Arnold depth. And it just occurs to me that some of you are not familiar with the fact that they have a player named General Booty. So, we are doing a show Meemaw would be proud of here. I did not steer it over in the gutter. The kid's name is General Booty. And if you don't believe me, Google some of the T-shirts, because no one is more custom-made for NIL merchandise opportunities than that kid. But Jackson Arnold is my favorite quarterback of this past cycle, and he's on campus too. It can't be that Oklahoma exits the Big 12 a loser. I can't see it happening, at least as bad as they were last year. This is their last year coming up in the Big 12. They were 82nd defensively in yards per play allowed. Brent Venables is not allowing that to happen again. Is he? Open-ended, because it's only March, so we can do that. I don't think so. Texas A&M, I am already kind of hitching my wagon to them this year. Not to win the title, but to make a bowl game. Let's just make a bowl game, guys. Go Aggies, make a bowl game. And I am the person who sat here and looked you in the eye around August and said they had a disaster-proof roster. Those words, in that order, came out of my mouth about Texas A&M. And then, despite the roster, they were a disaster. And I'll regret it for the rest of my life. But I do believe they made good changes. Some of those changes, ironically enough, include some of the people on that roster not being there anymore. There is such thing as addition by subtraction. And there's also such thing as bringing in a guy that at one point looked like street pizza after he wrecked a motorcycle and was involved in a sex scandal as a head coach, coming in and doing what he's tailor-made to do, and that is to sit in an office quietly, stay out of the spotlight, and just draw up football plays. And that's Bobby Petrino, and that's the offensive coordinator, and it better work. I can joke around as much as I want to. It better work. I'm holding a pen or I'd wag my index finger at Jimbo. It better work, because if it doesn't, no buyout is high enough for those people. I know these people. I know the Texas A&M people. No buyout is high enough. They are not going to sit out there and look at this golden opportunity pass them by because you're stuck in 1987 offensively. That's not going to happen. And the fourth team, which is just, I think, like fishing with dynamite right now, it's Colorado. I heard you, again, second time I heard you yell as soon as I said something. Colorado was 1-11 last year. We're simply asking, can they win 3 or 4 games? I know the schedule is not the easiest to navigate in the world, but this was an entire team being reinvented. You get that, right? This is almost like having Xbox and hitting the reset button on a team. I always tell you it's not a video game. Dion kind of turned Colorado into a video game in the short term, and they have the number 1 portal class in the country. I don't know how else to spin it. It's not one of the. It is the number 1 portal class in the country. They have 11 players rated 4 or 5 stars that they did not have when he got there. Cormani McLean and Travis Hunter at corner will not be easy to deal with. I don't care whomst you have out there. I mean, that's a really, really good combination of players. Again, I understand there's a cohesion. There's the mortar in between the bricks that makes up a team. I'm not ignorant enough to think otherwise. That's why I'm not talking about bowl games with you. I'm talking about them winning 3 or 4 games. And 19 commits, 25 from the portal. They added like 44, if my math is correct. That's 44 players that weren't there last year, and they may not even be done. It's going to be fun. If nothing else, they may not make a bowl game. It's going to be fun to watch them try at Colorado. Everybody's got an opinion on them. I don't talk to... Think about the last time you said that, by the way. I don't talk to anyone that watches our sport that when Colorado comes up now, they don't have something to say. Some folks can't stand them. I'm not particularly sure why. I think probably you're more fed up with people talking about them, in which case you should be mad at me, not Colorado. But everyone's got an opinion on them. So Colorado's already sold over 30,000 tickets to their spring game, by the way. I don't think they've had 30,000 combined there in the history of spring football. And now all of a sudden, not only are people going to be there, they are paying to be there. Jesse, what is the average temperature in Boulder this time of year? Maybe we should go out there. I don't think you've ever been to Colorado, have you? We'll see. Guys, thanks for watching Late Kick. Make sure to leave a comment. I love interacting with you. But most of all, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. That's how we keep all of this free.